Yo, what is up guys? It's Tim Burzes here from Amplified Metabolism, and I know, it's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks since I filmed a video. I apologize for that. Got a little busy with, Labor Day, a trip to New York City, and then the Content and Commerce Summit from Digital Marketer last weekend. Lots of stuff going on. I'm really excited about a lot of it, but I want to get back to doing videos for you because it kills me. It just burns me up inside when I can't actually give you content, take all this metabolism knowledge and help to share it around the world, because that's the whole reason I'm doing what I'm doing, is because I'm trying to help all these people, as many people as I can, to increase their metabolism. And that means filming more videos, giving more free content, and I'm excited to get back to it. So, with that long introduction, let us begin with today's topic, which is one food that is incredibly metabolic that I think you should be eating every single week, at least once, at least maybe twice, and that is liver. Specifically, I like beef liver or veal liver. So why is liver so important? Why is it so special? Especially because, a lot of people don't like the taste of liver. Don't worry, I'll give you a few recommendations on how to eat it at the end. It makes it a lot tastier, enjoyable. You actually learn to like it a lot too, so really good. But anyway, let's dive into the actual nutrients, the actual reasons why liver is so beneficial for your metabolism. So the first one I want to talk about is choline and cholesterol. It has a lot of both of those nutrients in them. Choline, we talked about this before, so important for helping your liver to create cholesterol from the fat that it stores. And when you're on a high sugar diet, which is really helpful for metabolism, you have a tendency to create more fat from that fructose in the sugar. Now, that's not a problem at all. It's actually a good thing because it helps your body to create more cholesterol in the long term, unless you're not eating enough protein or you're not eating enough choline. If either of those things happen, you're not eating enough protein, not eating enough choline, your liver won't be able to export that fat out into the bloodstream as cholesterol, and then it gets stored in the liver. Bad things happen, and we don't want that. So making sure you're getting a lot of choline is super important, and liver happens to have a very good amount. I think it's like 200, 300. Actually, it's probably more. It's probably up like a 400 area. But either way, lots of choline, really good for you. It also has cholesterol on its own. Cholesterol is important for creating the mother of all steroid hormones, pregnenolone, from which it goes to progesterone and DHA, which can go to testosterone and to all the other beneficial steroid hormones that we want to create. More cholesterol, more pregnenolone, more of the steroid hormones. It's all good. So cholesterol is really good. Choline, cholesterol, both of those things help. Now what else? It's also really rich in certain fat-soluble vitamins, specifically vitamin A and vitamin K. And these are really important because I'm going to do a video on this soon. But basically, there's the regulation of calcium in your body, it's often called the calcium paradox, is vital to getting your metabolism back on track. And the reason is, if your body ends up pulling calcium out of the bones, which it often does in a stress type of state, then that calcium will end up going into the bloodstream, raising your serum calcium, and eventually what happens is your body doesn't want to have high blood calcium, so it starts storing it into soft tissue, like your organs, your muscles, all the other good stuff. And if that happens, then that calcium starts to get inside of the cell, into the intracellular space, more than it should, and that ends up hurting your metabolism by messing with mitochondrial function, favoring more ADP over ATP creation, because ATP binds to magnesium or ADP binds to calcium. A whole host of things. Like I said, I'm going to do another video on that soon. But either way, you don't want soft tissue calcification. You want all of the calcium to go into your bones. Vitamin A and vitamin K are incredibly important for this, especially if you've taken vitamin D supplements, because vitamin D increases the absorption of calcium. So if you have high vitamin D, you're absorbing more calcium, but you don't have the vitamin A and the vitamin K to put in your bones, that calcium ends up in your soft tissue and you get the stress response. I'm really passionate about this one actually, because I'm pretty sure that's the problem that I faced most with my low metabolism, was the whole calcium thing. So we'll get to that soon. But regardless, liver has lots and lots of vitamin A, which is also important for creating that pregnenolone we just talked about. When cholesterol gets turned into pregnenolone, it needs thyroid hormone, vitamin A, and then the actual cholesterol itself. Those three things combined create pregnenolone. So you need a lot of vitamin A. Vitamin A can actually increase testosterone. There's a couple really cool studies with that. It's also important for eyes, important for skin growth. Vitamin A is super important. But the important thing is to have the balance of all the different fat-soluble vitamins, because if you have any of one of them out of whack, you can start to run into problems. For example, too much vitamin A without enough vitamin D and K and E, that will actually, it can actually be anti-thyroid. It can actually hurt your thyroid function if you have too much vitamin A on its own. The liver has an appropriate blend of all those nutrients so that when you're eating it, you're getting all the benefits of vitamin A, but it's also balanced out with the other nutrients. It's kind of the problem with supplements. I'm not saying supplements are bad, just know what you're doing with them. Because, you know, if you like I said, if you're taking lots of vitamin D, for example, you might get inappropriate calcification. You don't want that. So it's better to get all your nutrients from whole food sources. Again, not saying supplements are bad, because, you know, especially with today, with food having lower nutrient values, probably it's needed to some extent. Just got to make sure it's all balanced. All right, so those are the first two things. But we also have a couple other ones, specifically copper. Copper is really, really high in liver. Copper is crucial for metabolism because cytochrome C oxidase, which is one of the rate-limiting steps in the electron transport chain of mitochondrial oxidative metabolism, that enzyme is copper dependent, meaning that if it doesn't have copper, it won't work. And so we need to make sure that we're eating enough copper. Liver has lots of copper, therefore helps with your metabolism. It's really good. And the final thing is that liver has lots of the B vitamins. It's not crazy chock full of them. There's a lot of B vitamins in fruits and everything like that, so you're probably getting a good amount. But B vitamins are water soluble, so you have to eat them more frequently. So in liver, there's a decent amount, pairs well with all of the fat soluble vitamins. You get a big burst of nutrients every time you eat liver. The B vitamins are obviously all important for, Krebs cycle, oxidative metabolism, the electron transport chain. They provide the oxidating and reducing factors like NAD and NADH. And so all the B vitamins are really important for energy production as well. Liver has a good amount of them. Now, moving away from the micronutrients, like the vitamins and the minerals and stuff like that, liver is also, because it's an organ meat, it also has a better blend of amino acids. And we talked about this before with, bone broth and gelatin and stuff like that, having more of the glycine, alanine, proline, hydroxyproline, those pro-metabolic amino acids that shut down the stress response and get rid of inflammation. It has less of what, the anti-metabolic amino acids, the ones that are more inflammatory, the ones like tryptophan, cysteine, methionine, and histidine, which are more common in muscle meats. So again, you're not avoiding those, it's just you're balancing them out. Organ meats have more of the pro-metabolic ones, so by eating more organ meat, you can get more of that protein for the day from good sources of amino acids that are actually helping your metabolism and helping your body to shut stress down, prevent disease, all that other good stuff. Really, really good. Now, one final point before I sign off here about liver that I really want to stress is that there are, throughout history of science, the history of science, there have been times when people thought they knew all the nutrients that everyone had, and they started, preaching some misguided advice, later only to find out that, a certain vitamin or mineral that they hadn't discovered yet was the thing causing whatever it was that they were looking at. For example, for a long time, vitamin K was assumed just to be vitamin K. When they found vitamin K2, it was in such small amounts, and they said, okay, it was probably not important. Vitamin K is, for blood coagulation, that's it. K2 is not important. Then they found out that even though K2 is in a small amount, K2 actually is really, really important for bone metabolism, as we've talked about earlier, because liver has K2 in it. So in other words, they had no idea that K2 was doing all of these things that it was doing, and so they just kind of ignored it. So my point with all of this is that there's, in whole food sources like liver, which are really, really nutrient rich, there's probably factors that we actually don't know yet, that we haven't discovered yet. And so while, supplementing is great and you can help to rebalance some things if they get out of whack, eating it from whole food, eating your nutrients from whole foods, especially like from liver, make sure that anything that we don't even know about yet that your body needs to function, your body's still getting. And so it's still going to be getting those nutrients, it's still going to be boosting your health up, helping your metabolic rate. And the thing is, if you have a low metabolism, you feel your hands and your feet cold all the time, and you try eating liver, see if they warm up, because most likely they will. They have so many of the good metabolic nutrients that it's going to be shutting that stress down and ramping up your metabolism. Now, the one thing with liver, I recommend eating it like 1 to 2 times a week, maybe 3 if you know you're like deficient in vitamin A or have higher vitamin A requirements, or if you're taking more vitamin D, because as we talked about, vitamin A and vitamin D have to be level, all that good stuff. But regardless, 1 to 2 times a week. If you eat it more than that, you can get some toxicity issues with the vitamin A. And it can be anti-thyroid, like I said, because too much vitamin A is anti-thyroid. But for the most part, shouldn't be a problem. Just stick to it 1 to 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week, and enjoy it. Now, I promised in the beginning that I was going to give you a couple tips on how to cook it and everything. What I like to do is just coat it in a little bit of flour and cook it in coconut oil, along with some sauteed onions. I think the onions and the liver pair really well together. The flour just kind of helps to make the bold, liver flavor less bold, I guess. And usually I'll also end up eating it with meat of some sort. I'll cook like a steak, and I'll cook liver. I'll eat them together with some rice or something like that. You don't have to do that, but if you want to get some more protein in for the meal, if you have like a big meal with lots of protein, include liver, include meat, kind of mix it together. Actually tastes pretty good. And in addition to that, put some salt on it, put some pepper on it. Try it a couple times. I'm sure after like 2 or 3 times, you're gonna end up really, really enjoying it, and then it won't be a problem anymore. And you can enjoy all of the pro-metabolic benefits from liver without having to worry too much about the flavor or anything like that. Personally, I like calf liver or veal liver. I think it's kind of sweeter. I think it's better than beef liver. But either way, both of those are pretty good. Chicken liver tastes a little bit odd, so I usually stay away from chicken liver, especially since it has more polyunsaturated fats usually. So try one of those out. If your local grocery store doesn't have them, fresh, they usually will have them frozen. Same thing, it's really not a big deal. That's how I buy them. I buy them frozen. Let's see, anything else with liver? Because I just covered all of it basically. We went through all of the nutrients with the choline, cholesterol, vitamin A, vitamin K, B vitamins, copper, the good amino acid balance. What else did we talk about? We talked about all the nutrients we don't know about yet. And yeah, I think we went through a good bit of it. So I think that's all I have. I think that's all I have for today. But I'm going to be back with more and more videos now. Now that I'm back on a normal schedule, I can actually do my morning routine again and start getting back into that daily ritual of creating videos for you. Very, very excited about it. I hope you are too. Please like and subscribe and share if you like this video. I'm trying to get all this good metabolic information out to as many people as possible, because for the longest time, I had no idea that any of this stuff existed. And if I did, I would have been able to be enjoying my health and my life so much more than I was for years, suffering from that low metabolic state. So we're trying to help everyone, trying to get this out there. So please help me. I can't do it without you. I also have a free metabolism quiz that I've created that will help give you your metabolism score based on where you are on the metabolism spectrum. And then it'll give you a custom video based on your results and give you some next steps to do. So that'll be a link in the description, so make sure you check that out. And I will see you guys soon. All right, peace out.